Well, I'm a child of the northern hemisphere, and all my life I've lived around this latitude, and I've always wondered what it would be like if we lived on the southern hemisphere and it was Christmas and it was warm. And now I know, and I don't like it. It's confusing. And the flowers are confused and the plants are confused, but we still get the darkness. The days are still short. And there's a paradox about darkness, that it really allows the beauty of light to be revealed in a very special way. And there's nothing quite so beautiful as candlelight in the dark, or a beautiful fire in a darkened room, especially if it was suitably cold outside. And in the Bible that Jesus grew up with, that is also our Bible, the very first paragraph of that Bible, it describes the creation as beginning with darkness, that there's a chaos, a darkness, a formless void. And God speaks, "Let there be light." And light comes forth. There was no attempt, I don't think, that this be understood as some kind of scientific statement, though it is remarkably alike in some ways with current theory of the creation of the universe. But it's a theological statement. It's saying that there is a creator who speaks, and it's saying that that creator speaks into darkness, and that there is great darkness and chaos, and yet there is a creator who speaks light into the darkness, and that light becomes life. That light is an energy that transforms everything it touches. It's creative. And the story of faith is the story of light in darkness, of a God who continues to speak. That's really the Bible story, a God who continues to speak into the lives of human beings, individuals, communities, and continues to speak light and life. Often not understood well, often taken and made into another kind of darkness. God continues to speak. And I want to share with you a visit I had with a church member who has had a rough time after suffering from Lyme's disease. How many of you know John? Lives in the farmhouse just down below the church. And he recovered from Lyme's disease after they diagnosed and treated that. And then he had another malady attacking his muscles, and it took them quite a while to figure out what that was all about. And they finally did diagnose that, began treatment for that, and physical therapy because he was unable to walk. And as he began to recover, I was visiting him at the hospital. And one of the things that really struck him was he was rather almost amazed at the way that his children responded and cared and rallied around. It was like grace. And of course, my mother said a very similar thing later in her life, that she was amazed at how we would respond as her children, because she had an awareness of some of the things she did that weren't so great, as if it was sort of a tit for tat. That if, you made some parenting mistakes, well, you're going to get paid back when you really need some help. Ha ha, I got you now, Mom. But no. He was really just sort of cherishing this graciousness. And then I received a copy of his Christmas letter, and I want to share a paragraph in it, which is really beautiful and eloquent. A patience prone position makes for looking up. Here's what I see: a world of goodness, families and friendships, order and beauty overshadowing the chaos which can cloud our vision. Kindness, compassion, caring, love, all part of our world. Glory, it's real. We're blessed. Rejoice. I give thanks for that testimony from someone lying on their back. Tonight, where are you? Where are you in your life? What's happening in your world, in our world, in our nation, among the nations? What are your fears? What are your hopes? We come tonight to remember the God who speaks light. And we recognize that light when we see it. We recognize it in the face of family, of friends, of neighbors, of people who respond in darkness with light, with love, with care. We can see it. We can always see that in our world. Oh yes, we see all the darkness, but we can always see that light being spoken through flesh. And tonight we celebrate the birth of light, that the Word becomes flesh, that God wants us to know and see and experience His light in a life, in a beauty, in a goodness, in a truth, in a courage, in a willingness to walk to a cross, in a willingness to lay down one's life, that we see in human beings and we see in the baby that was born. Tonight we give thanks. As John said, we give thanks for the order and beauty overshadowing the chaos which can cloud our vision. Glory, it's real. Glory. And the little bits of it that we see now cannot be compared to when we see it face to face in the fullness of glory. Glory, it's real.